This vacuum cleaner is a classic. Vorwerk Kobold's representative is demonstrating it to a potential customer. The model has been sold for decades and is continually being improved. These days, energy efficiency is a top priority. The appliance is made at the company's main factory in Wuppertal. Saving energy is the watchword here, not only for the product itself, but for the entire business. Werner Kemper is responsible for environmental issues at the company. He knows exactly where, when and how much energy is being consumed. He makes the rounds as often as he can. Vorwerk has been paying close attention to oil and electricity costs for years. It adds up in every area of the business. In production, for example, the plastic cover of the vacuum cleaner is made up of millions of plastic granules. And this machine's hydraulic system alone requires thousands of litres of oil. A new technique plays a leading role.
Now we're using a tool that can process two kinds of plastic as a single piece, whereas in the past we had to manufacture two separate parts and then put them together. So we now have two materials moulded together. That saves a step in production. At the same time, we have this glossy surface, which also used to require an extra step. It's now part of the same process.
The firm has sold 80 million vacuum cleaners, not in shops, but retailed directly at the customer's front door. CEO Michael Wissmann is convinced of the value of investing in energy savings, both in his business and the products it makes.
In the current crisis, it pays dividends to have invested wisely in the past, in energy management, among other things. Energy costs affect our bottom line. So when they're kept low, of course, it helps us now during the recession.
The scientists at the Wuppertal Institute for Climate, Environment and Energy research new ways to save on materials and energy.
That's extremely important, because then you start to look at the whole process. Empirical studies show that businesses that use their resources sparingly are also good at managing, because they really look at their cost structure. They don't focus exclusively on the labor costs involved in running the business. They also look at the other costs and see that wages might only be 19%, not the largest expenditure.
But if a business wants to save, it first has to invest. Vorwerk recently sank 200,000 euros into new ventilation systems. The old compressed air system was simply burning too much energy.
Here we are in one of 3 compressed air stations. Compressed air is the most expensive energy source in the factory. Of all the electricity we use to produce it, around 90% ends up as heat. That's worth thinking about.
No area can hide from the energy inspector. He's acutely aware that the greatest energy savings lie in the accumulation of many smaller projects.
Here we're in our heating plant in Building D, where we've built in something special. There's one boiler with a fixed output and another with a variable one. The two of them cover 100% of our needs. The variable one provides up to 50%. When we need more than 50%, the other one starts up and delivers the rest.
How much do you save?
About 14,000 euros a year.
His search for energy savings is paying off. Even when everyone else has gone, Werner Kemper is still on the job.
And for more on